Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Star Citizen Alpha 4.2.0 is now Wave 2 on the PTU, opening it up to a wider audience. There are various updates in this latest PTU patch and then sort of expanding of the testing focus. The focus, stability, bug fixes and performance. The Stormbreaker new event slash persistent sandbox activity, parts 1 and 2 are available here, but there is more to come soon. Very much not the full Stormbreaker activity there. We've got dynamic rain and kind of storms and updates to clouds. There's radiation here as well that's being tested. The Volt Laser Prism shotguns. The Argo Atlas ICT, which is the combat mechs, at least one version of them. We have new Wicklow ship additions, new hairstyles, the Sterling exploration suit, which allows you to protect yourself from radiation, but also get into certain areas in some of the ASD facilities, and the improved kiosk interactions are not yet ready for testing. But also beyond that, the ASD facilities and how you move around them on Pyro 1 and Pyro 4, they're also being tested, but I suppose these are kind of part of the Stormbreaker set of missions or dynamic event or whatever you want to call it. There are some feature updates here. Scanning mode UI and feature update. The scanning mode UI has been updated with further visual improvements. They've lowered the base emissions to be able to scan for a vehicle driver's name from 80% to 10%, so much easier to be able to detect and find someone's name out, allowing you to scan a player's name more quickly and from further away. There's further new hair inclusions and new hair polish in the character creator, which will, I believe, expand out to NPCs in the not too distant future as well. Those ASD facilities, they've done a load of polish here with lighting, music and general optimization. They've added exclusion areas to prevent AI from entering the ASD facility clinics. That's important because people were getting spawn camped by NPCs when they were setting their spawn location at these facilities. ATLS suits and their variants can now be called up using the freight elevator in the hangar after you have it delivered to that hangar. So if you've got a Atlas suit, you'll have to request it to be in your hangar, and then you'll be able to bring it up in the freight elevator. You'll also be able to store them as such as well, which is really cool. Can't do it with other ground vehicles yet in the freight elevator, but we should be able to soon. They've made some tweaks for shield generators. They've updated all engineering components health scaling with increases and decreases across components. They've also added gimbals to ground vehicle remote turrets. Actually, Let's talk a little bit about this, because there are a load of balance changes to ships, to components, to turrets, to ammo, especially with like manned turrets. In some cases, these have been given giant buffs to their ammo pools. The Idris turrets have better turning speeds as well, things like that. There's loads of health buffs to certain items, including the Idris's torpedo launcher. And with all the balance for ship components and weapons, even FPS balance, expect a load more changes throughout this patch cycle, some potentially reverting what they'd previously tested, because I've seen them doing loads of tweaks to shields and their regen numbers versus delay. They bounce around loads over the last few patches. We'll go into deeper details of all of these balance changes once they've settled down a bit. Otherwise, you're just going to have a load of videos with a load of numbers that constantly change, and if you watch one out of order, you'll be very confused. Also, it doesn't help that CIG often obscure these changes, or at least don't share them in the patch notes more readily. It's just sort of like, we made some changes. And that's sort of fine, as long as there's somewhere from the official patch notes I can go and see all of the changes and potentially the reasons why. There's also some changes to the R97 shotgun in this patch as well. They've decreased the pellets per shot to 8 from 12. They've increased the damage per pellet by about 10% though. They've decreased its aim down sight spread, but increased its min and max spread, as well as increasing its recoil. I don't use shotguns that much in Star Citizen, and I might use them if I've run out of ammo and I grab them off another NPC from the floor or whatever, or go, oh, look, a shotgun. Were they super OP the R97, or is it just general balance, or are a load of NPCs using them now? So they were like, oh, they're taking out too many players. We'll reduce that. I'm sort of interested to know the reasons behind that change. With that all said, CIG do look like they're going to be doing a load more FPS balance as well, with a load of different weapons and armors and stuff like that. So, as I said, expect that to turn up throughout this PTU patch cycle. They further updated rain effects with some polish, including better balancing with stronger wind, more visible, and adding screen space collision impacts. They've also made the default camera rain droplets and slush effects more subtle. They've also done a door tech update to add the ability for locked doors to require multiple forms of authentication to open. So they might require you to wear the set of armor with a particular helmet or have credentials as well, multiple things before a door opens. Some other bits. Combat mechs. I've seen the ICTs at Pyro 1 in the garage at the Lazarus facilities there. I think there might be more than just the ICT for combat in this patch, sort of mech-wise. I think there might be Civi and Geo models that are outfitted, or the ability to get the ICT having a jump pack, things like that. I've not been able to actually play with one of those combat suits yet, but I've seen them, and the ones I've seen appear to have size 1 weapons on their arms rather than size 0, which we were thinking they might be, which is size 0 is the smallest vehicle size of weapon and component. But they've got like a blast shield and stuff like that. They're not as derpy as I expected them to be. I like the fact you can bring them up effectively in the cargo freight elevators as well now. And I do think that a lot of people will be using these because they'll be able to fit in a lot of different ships. We don't know exactly how CIG is going to be handling the release of these, but they are going to be available to get in-game, even if they sell them for real money at the same time. Will they also be available in in-game shops at the same time? That's sort of a different question. We are waiting on more of what's going on with the Stormbreaker event and persistent sandbox activity, or whatever they're calling it. Does this lead to, like, more parts lead to fighting a giant Apex Valakar, the Sandworm, or literally breaking the storm around these ASD facilities on Pyro 1, even if only briefly? It's called Stormbreaker, right? It might not have a giant Valakar raid, but it might. We'll have to wait and see. The adults are certainly in this patch. I've seen them jumping around. Actually, that's the one thing they probably wouldn't do, because they are very much underground. There has been a ton of fixes with this patch as well, mainly focusing on the Stormbreaker locations, but also transit and streaming, credentials for entering areas, and some bits for Wicklow missions, as well as various client and server fixes. I would say that this patch is going to operate a lot better once everyone stops bringing Idrises to the new areas in droves. I've seen, when I was trying to get footage earlier, maybe a dozen Idrises around the Lazarus facility transit systems. It's just so many capital ships just chilling out in a small area. It's ridiculous. I'd almost say when CIG are testing this sort of stuff, the new event stuff, they go, well, actually, let's limit what ships people can access in the PTU. Obviously not in the live build, but in the PTU. Yeah. That said, maybe they wanted to get data on a large amount of capital ships in a small area, and that's probably useful to them as well. There are various known issues beyond that. Lots of problems with trams and transit, always is, ore storage at Klesha, quantum travel and streaming issues causing performance drops, especially when you jump into areas with the sort of new facilities, new areas, loads of ships. There's issues with target locks, UI and kiosk issues, and a couple of mission issues as well. But CIG are plowing through the known issues list. Oh, also something to mention, Wicklow custom components. This is more specifically when going into 4.2 live. The issue with missing upgraded components from Wicklow ships has been resolved in the 4.2 update. So executive hangar ships are being worked on to also be fixed, but are not in the build just yet. Starting with this update, all newly purchased ships from Wicklow will automatically include the upgraded components, because they're supposed to have better components or military components or whatever, a reason to want those Wicklow ships, the reason to want those executive hangar ships, and they were given like default components or whatever. For players who bought Wicklow ships before 4.2 and still have the base components, there are two ways to receive the upgrade. Store the ships before 4.2.0 goes live, or file an insurance claim on the ship after the live release. In either case, the ship will return with the upgraded components instead of the base ones. At least, that's the plan. Boom! That's it for your Alpha 4.2.0 PTU update today. It's Wave 2 at time of recording. CIG did say they wanted to get out to as many waves as possible by the weekend because they want to do a mixture of stress testing and sort of expand out what's going on with that Stormbreaker event, getting those areas as performant as possible with the few bugs as possible and higher frame rates as possible. That's super important for CIG. No more bugs. Well, we're going to see lots of bugs because it's Star Citizen still Alpha for a reason, but they are trying to make the game more playable. They're trying to expand out content rather than just features. And this event is looking pretty cool. I need to jump into the game a little bit later and see if I can get my hands on an ICT properly, but it is just effectively a ATLS suit with some guns for arms. Tell me what you think, though. Are you super excited for 4.2.0? Are you expecting the giant Apex Valakar to be part of the Stormbreaker event? Or is this just sort of like a prelude to that and it's going to come in a patch or two's time or something? Or am I vastly overestimating CIG's ability to put giant SAM raids into game? Are you liking the new dynamic rain and clouds and all of this sort of stuff that's part of the Genesis tech that CIG are trying to put in the game? What's that? You want some nordvpn.com/BoredGamer? Well, I've got your back because you can just use the links below or go to that address that I just said to get a big discount on NordVPN, the best darn VPN we ever did advertise for better accessibility, security, and privacies on the internet. I use it. I love NordVPN. I love you too, BoredGamer. That was NordVPN, what might have been, saying it loved me as well. We're very happy together. Something else that might make you happy, until June the 5th, there's a sale on Tobii eye trackers. You can use the links down below to get one of those for high precision head and eye tracking, natively supported in Star Citizen, and a load of other games as well. Check it out. May is about fleets, lots of dogfighting, flying with friends, and once again we've partnered with the Lunar Wolves, a Star Citizen organisation looking for recruits. Maybe you might be an appropriate fit. You can check the recruitment page for them down below. But we're giving away a fleet of ships. Commenting on any of my videos during the month of May gets lots of different lucky winners the chance to win a Constellation Andromeda, a F7C Super Hornet Mark II, a Redeemer, and a Cutlass Black. Each winner will win one of those, courtesy of the Lunar Wolves. But wait, there is more. The Lunar Wolves are also giving away an RSI Polaris with lifetime insurance to one of their new recruits. Winners of that particular ship will be selected randomly from eligible org signups, but the rest of those ships, they're given away on my channel entirely, so you just need to comment on any of my videos to be in for a chance of winning. Lunar Wolves welcome all who share their passion for adventure and love of Star Citizen, and you can find out more about them on the lunarwolves.org webpage as well. If you would like to further support the channel, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that sort of good stuff. We've got join buttons under videos that help support the channel as well. You get some exclusive videos that are going out now. They've got Patreon, which basically does the same. We make daily Star Citizen content here, and that's partly due to the people that go the extra mile and help out the channel. I hope you have a fantastic May, a fantastic Fleet Week, and a great Star Citizen Alpha 4.1.1 experience.